What is up, SML? It's your boy Dump, coming to you with a little bit of a fun bit of content. As you know, yesterday I was kind of on Netflix, digging into the old WWF wrestling. Brought back a lot of nostalgia. Not a current day wrestling fan, but I thought I'd have some fun with this idea that popped in my head. That I'm gonna do the SML members as WWF wrestlers and do a comparison for all 32 members of the SML. It's not going to be a long podcast, but it's something fun, a little end of cycle content, semi-related to SML. Right now, we know we're closing out this cycle. We need everything we can get. All right. So, without further ado, we're going to start with some low-hanging fruit. First guy, our commissioner, 31-time champion, Prime. My comparison for him would be The Rock. Obviously a champion, obviously a dominant wrestler, obviously a big ego, lots of charisma. I think we can all smell what Prime is cooking. Next, we're going to go to maybe a little less obvious. Maybe you really got to be a wrestling fan to get this one. We're going to go with Trick, and he's going to be the Brooklyn Brawler, a little throwback, a little Brooklyn Brawler action. I would say for this one, because he's chatting a lot. He's always in the chat. He's always talking. He's always making some claims. Always yapping. So Trick, you're the Brooklyn Brawler. All right. Next, I thought this one was really good. It's more of a comparison of like Aura, if I can say Aura. Am I too old to say Aura? I'm going to go QP with Razor Ramon. He's got the slick back hair. He's got the swagger. He's got the toothpick in his mouth. Chest hair flowing like QP in the robe. QP, you're Razor Ramon. Next. This guy is, we'll just say an OG. So just like this wrestler, kind of like a classic OG wrestler. Very outspoken. Says what's on his mind. Doesn't care what others think. That's NYT. He's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's throwing it out there. Really wanted to give that one to Fig for the beer drinking, but I thought NYT's personality. He's Stone Cold. Next, we got Meats. Now this one was a little tough. I had to really dig for this one, but I'm gonna go with Psycho Sid. And the reason Meats is Psycho Sid is because he was very dominant early on in his SML career, kind of an OG, and then faded out. So he gets the Psycho Sid comparison. All right. Next, this is probably one of my favorites, and I think this is one that really makes sense. All right, we got Woods, and y'all can all probably guess that Woods is Mark Henry because he's the strongest man. Woods is a big dude. I can see him being one of the stronger SML members. Also, if you didn't know, Mark Henry's nickname is Sexual Chocolate. So I'll just leave that there. Always making references to Wood and some other things. I'm not going to say that on air, but you can figure that one out. Next, let's go with Tug. Tug, to me, he's a good player in the SML. Not a champion, but a solid. He's made some runs, so I'd say he's a respectable wrestler. But to me, he's mysterious. He's not around a lot, not on a lot of content, just kind of mysterious guy. So to me, Tug is Kane. All right? Thought that was a pretty good one. Next, Finns. The sole Canadian in the SML, so I'm going to give him Bret Hart. Easy comparison, nothing other than Bret Hart was Canadian. That's where I draw that comparison from. After that, let's go with a new guy, newer guy. All right, New York Slice. Obviously got called up, I think, shortly before me when I made my return. And I'm going to say that, this is kind of a new age wrestler. I'm not a big new age, but I had to do some research on this because Slice, this was a tough one for me. I'm going to say that Slice is Roman Reigns because he has the MBT. He came on the scene. Everybody hyped him up. But it's taken a while to get there. And I think he can eventually get there in the SML. and win a championship. So I'm going to give him Roman Reigns, kind of a next big thing guy, but has potential, has heated up, but hasn't quite got there. It's taken him a little bit longer than I think a few may have expected. All right. Next, we'll go to an SML OG and one of my favorite members, let's say Fig. Like I said earlier, Stone Cold with the beer drinking could be one, so I really had to take a good angle on this. I think Fig is a Ric Flair. Ric Flair is a party animal. Fig loves to drink beers and get after it. So Fig, you are Ric Flair. We'll take it to another one of my favorite people in the SML, and that's my guy DW. And for this angle, I had to go. I feel like a lot of people love DW. He's a very likable guy. He's kind of quiet behind the scenes, almost not mysterious, just kind of not a lot of words, but he puts out good stuff and everybody loves him. Some say he's the Undertaker. All right, quiet, doesn't say a lot, but very likable. I feel like everybody loved the Undertaker. He was kind of a quiet and mysterious guy. Next, let's go with Raider fan. As we know, Raider fan is probably one of the best commentators in the SML. Love it when he gets in the playoff booth. Love when he is commentating SML playoffs. It's peak. So I'm going to say that he is the king of commentary, and he is Jerry Lawler. Side note, if you've ever been to Jerry Lawler's bar in Memphis, it's really cool. If you're ever there, check it out. And you're a wrestling throwback fan, you got to go see it. Next, my boy Tiny. Tiny is probably known for being in chat a ton. Can get a little mouthy, likes to yap, likes to run his mouth. So I'm going to say Tiny is Jimmy Hart, also known as the Mouth of the South. Thought that was a really good comparison. Next, we have our one and only duo. I made a reference to this earlier in the cycle, and that's Eddie and Damon, and they are the Dudley Brothers. I think that is almost spot on comparison. And Eddie, grab the table. Next, let's go with Not Nice, another one of my favorite SML members, a great guy. Not Nice he's a suave guy. He's got some swagger about him. He's always traveling. He's always sipping on a drink. He's the cool guy in the SML, the cooler older guy, suave. So he's gonna be Booker T. Just a good vibe, good swagger, cool guy. Not Nice as Booker T. Next, let's hop over to my good friend Torque. And this was a tough one too. But I would say that Torque, he's the Bayou guy. He's Louisiana, always talking about Louisiana, always posting crawfish, what he's eating. So I'm gonna say he's Jake the Snake Roberts, down home southern Louisiana guy. Torque, you're Jake the Snake Roberts. Next, let's go to another OG. This guy, when he's around, he's an OG that calls it like it is, and that's Mike FML. And I would compare him to Bret the Hitman Hart, just a guy that's been around a long time, a classic wrestler, and he just calls it how it is. He's gonna come and chat. He's gonna tell you how it is. He's gonna speak his mind. He just lets it go from his heart, tells the truth. Mike FML, Bret the Hitman Hart. Winding down here, we're on the back stretch. I'll go with Stavo next. Stavo, you're Eddie Guerrero. You got some swagger and you got a little charm. So it might be cooling off this cycle, but the charm part, the ladies' man part, but you still got the swagger. You're Eddie Guerrero. Next, KP. KP to me and the SML is kind of like an underrated player, underrated champion. You know, he's kind of flies under the radar. He'll just pop out a good season, make a Zimbardi run, won a couple. I would make this comparison to Kurt Angle. You know, just a good classic wrestler. Is a champion, but probably not like the most known champion. He's not a Stone Cold. He's not The Rock, but he's good. He's a champion. He's well known. KP, you're Kurt Angle. Next, I'm gonna go with another newer guy. We'll go with Steele. He stepped in and he's just had immediate success in the SML. You know, he's kind of like the MBT right now. So I got to compare him to a guy that stepped into wrestling and just had immediate success, and that's Goldberg. Steele, you are Bill Goldberg. Let's go with Bomber. I haven't knocked out Bomber yet. Bomber, kind of like that scrappy. He's like taking a lot of beatings in between his Zimbardis, but he's a champion. He's been successful, but he just puts it on the line. He kind of abuses his body, I would say, taking all the beatings over the years, and still goes and comes out on top. And I'd say Mankind. Bomber is Mankind. And for added bonus, I think if Bomber would grow his hair out and his beard, he might look a little like Mankind. So we'll go with that. Let's knock out some of these that were a little harder, and then we'll end with a bang. Soda, Lex Luger. Kind of don't really know much about you. Don't really do a ton. A solid wrestler, but just kind of, just doesn't appear on a lot of shows, content, just kind of plays. It's kind of a Lex Luger vibe to me. All right. We'll knock myself out. I'm going to say that I am the Miz. I had a run, and then I faded. That's kind of my SML career right now, you know. Had a very short run, faded away, just gone into eternity. I'm the Miz. Let's go the next guy on this list. We'll go with MMX. I'm gonna save the bangers for last. I'm gonna save a few of these really good ones, I think, for last. So I'd say MMX is kind of like Triple H, not really a success, but Triple H in his career kind of went more behind the scenes, as you could say, out of the spotlight. I say that MMX is behind the scenes doing a lot of stuff. He has his omniscient, puts out a lot of articles, kind of chips in that way. He's not in the spotlight of all the content, all the creation, but he's kind of behind the scenes filling in the gap for the SML. So I think Triple H in his later years is a really good comparison. All right, we're getting to the good ones. We'll say AJ, John Cena. Everybody loves John Cena. He's like the people's person. He's a very solid member, very highly liked by everyone. Like, who hates John Cena? Not a lot of people hate John Cena. So I'd say AJ, he's like Mr. America. Like, I'm John Cena. I'm here. I'm the man. Everybody loves me. AJ, John Cena. All right, we're down to the final final five. And I saved 5 good ones for this, so I hope you stuck around through this. All right, the next one would be Matt. And we know Matt in the SML, he kind of like just follows around Prime, glazes him, hypes him up. So just like another person that kind of followed around The Undertaker. That's the pallbearer. So he's like the ultimate sidekick. He doesn't really do a ton. You know, Matt doesn't win a ton of games. He just kind of follows around Prime and hypes up Prime. Matt is the pallbearer. All right, next. We'll go with Coop. Man, Coop is just like a happy-go-lucky, good vibe, kind of hippie-ish. A lot of people like Coop. I'm going to say he's Dude Love. He's Mankind's alter ego. Nothing to do with Bomber, but, you know, it's just giving him a good vibe, you know. Hippie, tie-dye shirt. Dude Love. Coop, you are Dude Love. And next, we got Doink. In my opinion, Doink kind of has like smartest guy in the room. Always got an opinion on something. Kind of all-knowing person. So I'm gonna go with Jesse Ventura. He just comes in, talks a lot, knows everything, always got an opinion, smartest guy that's doing. Next, we got 2 left, and we'll go with Dan. Dan, he's a champion, but he's not like too outspoken, been very successful, kind of well received. I'm going to say Randy Orton. Dan, you're Randy Orton. Big time wrestler, big time champion, but not too outspoken, kind of, mild manner. And the last one is ZBD. ZBD, you get that mid-game DM. You get 80,000 DMs. A guy that's voice is very loud in the DMs and the typing. He's the macho man. Because what you going to do when ZBD DMs you? All right, that's it. Had a little fun with it. About 16 minutes. Just want to throw out some content. As we finish this cycle strong, just challenge everybody. Just come up with something. It don't got to be directly SML correlated. Have fun with it. Let's create a little content. Let's not crawl to the finish line. Let's run. Let's sprint. And on that note, coming this week, within the next couple of days, we're going to have another episode of the SML stock market. And I'm going to try to get a special guest on, and we're going to talk about more specific gameplay and SML action. That's it for this one. Peace.